Okay, friends, let's move right along. Now, in the previous video, I know it's super long, I mentioned audience. I want to go back and show you where the audience is going to be located because I did see where Meta has changed it around a little bit. So, where you're going to find audience is going to be in your ad set. As we mentioned, you have first and foremost your campaign. We have already determined our campaign is going to be a lead-based campaign. Our budget is 25 bucks per month, per our day, and so now we're going to work on our ad set. As we mentioned in our ad set, we want it to be an instant form ad set. And instant forms are going to have all of your leads logged into your lead center. And you will also find all of your leads over, in lead center. And you'll also find them to be sent over to you, sometimes via message or via text. I have mine sent to me via text. If it's going to be a message and it's going to be a messenger, then you will find the leads to be a messenger. You'll have to go physically in your inbox and respond to all of your leads. But if you do have them come through instant messenger, they will go through the intake lead form and to your lead Trello on Meta. Okay. So, as I mentioned before, we are going to talk briefly about where to find and customize your audience. If you do not declare that this is a housing ad or a housing campaign, you can control your audience by going down to audience, and you are going to click on, of course, we did the location already, and you see what Advantage Placement has done. It says 18 is the minimum age, there is no maximum age, there is no exclusion of any custom audiences, and there's no exclusion of languages. Instead, what you're going to do is you are going to go right here and go to show suggestions. And as you can see, this is where you are going to customize your audience. If based upon your insights, the age of people that are engaging with your content is 25 to 65, this is where you're going to change the audience age to 25 to 65, especially if you're providing general information about communities, general information about real estate. General information is the rule of thumb. If it's specific information like mortgage interest rates, if it's specific information about a listing, specific information that requires numbers, then you want to declare. And of course, you cannot change the age. Of course, gender. If you find that this ad needs to be for women and women only, then you would change it here. If you feel like it's men and men only, you would change it here. Typically, I just leave gender alone. When we're talking about more detailed audience and narrowing down this number, right? We want to get a more narrow audience from 8 million down to, let's say, 500,000. Then we are going to narrow the audience by putting in behaviors or things like that. So let's watch this number here as we add certain things. Let's say parents. We want to work this ad to only go to parents, and we want it to be parents with adult children. The reason why we're going to do parents with adult children, because maybe this ad is for retirees. Maybe this ad is for downsizing. Maybe this ad is for people who are empty nesters. Then we would want to choose parents with adult children. Meta knows who has adult children because people post all the time. People say, "Oh goodness, my kid graduated from college. Oh, happy 25th birthday to my son. Happy, 19th birthday to my daughter." And that's how Meta collects this data. So here we are. We're going to click here, and we click here. Look how that audience dropped. Look how that audience dropped from 9 million to 489,000. That is how you narrow your audience. That is how you make sure your budget is being maximized for people who are going to see your ad. If your ad is for someone who's an empty nester, why would you show it to someone who just had a baby? Use that noggin. Why would you show the ad to someone who just had a baby? It makes no sense at all. So you want to narrow your audience that way. And you can narrow it even more and say, I want parents who have, adult children, but I also want them to like golf. Because maybe I'm going to run an ad for Edgewater in Lancaster, South Carolina. I'm going to say they're interested in golf as a sport. And it brings back up the audience. Let's say I want to narrow the audience and I want to say they have to, they have to also like golf. So I want parents who have or who are empty nesters and like golf. There's no, they could like golf, they couldn't like golf. They have to like golf. You see how it narrows it even more? So when you're talking about detailed targeting, you're saying here, first and foremost, I want everyone who's a parent, everyone who's a woman. And I want to narrow and say, well, I don't want everyone that's a parent, everyone's a woman. I want them to specifically have children that are under 5 years old. So now I would say here, I would change it and I would say the demographic is moms or a stay at home mom, right? Who has children under parents with children up to 12 months. That means they have babies. And you see how I narrow that audience to 1,000 people? Stay at home moms with children up to 12 months. But if I didn't care, I just wanted stay at home moms, and I also wanted moms who like tennis, because I also want to advertise to people like tennis, then I would do stay at home moms and tennis because either one of those people in that category can see this ad. But I feel like I'm rambling, so we're going to move on to the next one before this time's out with 15 minutes, okay? So let's just say that we have stay-at-home moms is our audience size, and we'll keep it there, okay? And we're at 100,000 people who are in Charlotte alone, because remember, we did our area, and we want them between 18 and 65, all genders, and we want them in Charlotte. We want them in Charlotte only, and it brings up 100,000 people. And this is going to be people who have stay at home as their job. Let's also bring up this one because sometimes Meta will have stay at home dad, stay at home parent. You see how it has dashes? This one has no dashes. So we can broaden back up the search by adding stay at home dad and stay at home parent. And you see how it brings back up our audience size, and that's a good audience size for now for us to narrow it down. All right, moving on. So now that I've gone over that, and I apologize for that, I want to also mention that we have placements. So you can actually say where you want your ad to go. And there are some areas, if you do declare, that Facebook will say, well, you can't say where you want your ad to go because we can't discriminate. It has to go everywhere. I, on the other hand, have two tricks. I exclude all realtors from some of my ads, and I also exclude some of my ads from being shown in games because kids play games, right? So if there's somebody that's 16 years old playing a video game on Facebook, my ad, they don't care. They're going to swipe past it. So I want my ads to go where they're going to be seen and they're going to be people filling out the forms. So you want to be able to do that. I think I mentioned in the other video where ads can go. It can go in your feeds. It can go in your stories. It can go with statuses. It can go in reels. It can go in stream ads for reels, right? So that means somebody has a long reel. Let's say they have a 5-minute reel or a 3-minute reel. Your ad can show up midway through that 3-minute reel. It can come up in search results. It can also come up in videos. Let's say that you are watching Judge Judy, and it's a 10-minute video. In the middle of that video, your ad can be shown there. So you can actually do that. Okay. Moving on to the the meats and potatoes of this, we are going to work on the ad. And I'm so sorry that this is running fairly long, and it's going to be like a 3-part series on building the ad. I just feel like there's so much information to give you, and I don't want to skip on anything. So what I'll do is I'll stop here, and then we will do another video, part 3, on creating the ads and understanding the ads.